We're back closely following updates on the 3 million Epstein Files documents released over the weekend. Our team at MS Now has counted at least 40 examples of missing redactions so far, revealing victims' names and, in some cases, faces and photos. Several survivors are speaking up about this latest drop, writing in a statement, quote, "This latest release of Jeffrey Epstein Files is being sold as transparency, but what it actually does is expose survivors. This is not over." And they say they look forward to hearing from Attorney General Pam Bondi. Let's bring in two of those survivors, Danielle Bensky and Liz Stein, who both signed on to the statement condemning what they call the DOJ's incomplete release of the files. Thank you so much both for being here. I'm sure it was a stressful and emotional weekend as all these files were released. Danielle, let me start with you because, again, you and I have had multiple conversations about, how important it was for survivors to be protected, but that the stories are out there and any people involved in any way in the abuse are exposed. And yet you have names of survivors, in some cases photos exposed. The DOJ had said that was one of the reasons it took so long to put these files out there was because of redactions. So what do you say to that?
I mean, the fact that only 300 million, right? We're talking about that we've only seen half of the documents.
3 million out of
3 million. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, 3 million. But we've only seen half, and they're saying that the reason that they didn't release the other half was to protect survivors. And yet, I've found all of my identifying information out there, and I can't tell you how disheartening it is to look through a 302 and see all of your information. It's not just my name. It's like my birthday, my address at the time, and you move through it and then all of these Jane Does are being exposed. And so it's just incredibly disheartening that they really failed all of the survivors on this after so many months of saying we're being so meticulous about this and we care so deeply about this. So I think that's where the slap in the face really hurts.
So slap in the face, you say it felt like, what went through your mind as you see your own name?
Yeah. I mean, it's horrific. And you get that rush, right? That feeling that's like, that shame, tingles feeling of like, I feel like I want to throw up because it's just all out there for the world to see. It's your whole life that's just on display. And for me, I've been public, but for my survivor sisters who are not public and for those Jane Does, it's absolutely devastating and heartbreaking to see.
Liz, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says the DOJ has been rectifying every missed redaction that they've been alerted to. And he, in his initial press conference, said mistakes will be made. But again, this stuff's already out there, right? If they missed it and it's been released, it's hard to kind of put that genie back in the bottle. How are you feeling in this moment?
Thanks. This morning someone said to us, you can't put toothpaste back into a tube, right? And so now we're living with, what has been released. And I can't express enough how intentional it feels that all of this information is being released. And it feels kind of in a way like additional intimidation, which is something that I think we all felt during our association with Jeffrey Epstein. And so it is bringing up those feelings again, those feelings of fear, those feelings of exposure. And a lot of this information was given in the course of litigation where survivors did not expect for it to ever become public. The most intimate and private details of people's lives that they were telling to law enforcement officials to help support litigation, and to have that out there, to have that so blatantly broadcast to everyone is something that we just never expected. And Danny, when I saw how blatantly your information was unredacted, I mean, it feels really hurtful and really intentional.
Danielle, 3.5 million pages or documents were put out, but as you mentioned, 6 million total were collected, or maybe more than that, according to the Deputy Attorney General. Are you concerned about what's still missing, what's not been revealed?
Definitely something that I've been looking for. I was pretty scared in 2008 when I first was contacted by the FBI and I was subpoenaed, and I went and spoke to them, and there were some things that I just wanted to really clarify, and I did in 2018, just to really get the story a little bit more authentic. And I can't find the 2018 report, but I can find the 2008. And so it just feels a little bit deliberate, right? It feels a little bit like, why is this report the one with my name and so easily accessible, but I can't find the more honest statement coming from 2018. So yeah, I mean, it's not that it's not there. There's so many documents that we're combing through, and everything is really hard to find and really mislabeled. So I had found my name in a memo pad that was labeled Florida redacted, right? And I was not in Florida, and it was certainly not redacted. So we're just finding
so
all
it's
of
inaccurate as well.
Yeah, it's really tough to find. I felt like in the beginning we had talked about them giving us some sort of appendix or something where we could actually find the necessary information. We've been asking for our 302s for quite some time, just anything to sort of provide us a roadmap, and there's just been nothing like that. So it is disheartening, and we're just not sure what's there. Like, we haven't even found the other half of Maria Farmer's 1996 statement. So we're just trying to find it all at this point, but it shouldn't be this hard.
And you say we, because I know that this survivors group has come together, has provided support for one another. Liz, your statement that as a group you put out says you're looking forward to hearing from Pam Bondi when she testifies before the House Judiciary Committee expected next week. What questions do you want her to face?
We have so many questions. I think that some of the things that we want answers for is, why were the redactions handled in the way that they were handled? What was the process that they used? Who vetted these redactions? I think that we want to understand why they don't feel like there's any evidence here to bring charges against co-conspirators. We want answers as to why, there are so many answers we want. We want answers as to why the federal indictment that was prepared in Florida that we have just seen released was never followed through on. I think that anything that we can do to get more clarity on what's happened is really important for us to do.
Liz, the DOJ says charges are unlikely, any additional prosecutions. At this point, what would accountability look like?
Something that I like to bring people back to whenever I speak about this is the fact that this is a crime. This is a crime. It's a crime of sex trafficking. And if the people who were involved in this crime didn't have the famous names that they had, would we be giving them a pass in the way that we're giving them a pass now? I cannot imagine anyone living in a community where there were 1,000 girls and young women who were sexually victimized and standing for that. Our government is standing in front of us and they are saying, this was a crime. This was a crime of sex trafficking. This was a crime that had between 1,000 and 1,200 victims, but there's nothing to see here. And, it's all done. And the notion that Epstein acted completely alone is just bizarre to me. And the fact that they don't feel like there are any co-conspirators or any other men involved is just blatantly untrue. And survivors know what we've told. We know what happened to us. And we know when we're looking through these files, what should be there and what we're not seeing. And it's really disturbing.
Yeah, it is. Ladies, I'm so glad you have each other, and just know there are millions of us who are supporting you too and wanting to lift you up in this moment. I know this has been just an ongoing nightmare for so many. Thank you very much for joining us and continuing to keep the pressure and the spotlight on what's been wronged. And we'll keep asking questions for you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.